Nothing I see means anything. A Course in Miracles says, and this is the exercise for today, that this sentence means the following. The reason why nothing I see means anything is that I am literally seeing nothing. And nothing, by definition, has no meaning. Okay? Now, that is a real blast to the mind. Really, this is just amazing, because what A Course in Miracles is suggesting is that you're looking at nothing. I mean, that doesn't even make any sense, because then you're going to ask yourself, so if I'm looking at nothing, then what am I seeing? Yeah? Well, we'll get into that. And as the book A Course in Miracles says, it is not necessary for you to understand or to believe any of these statements, especially at the very beginning, because quite often they'll be very foreign and quite often so controversial that you might react adversely and just go, oh, this is just a waste of time, I'm just gonna stop this. This is an expected reaction, of course, because what the Course is trying to suggest to you is something so unlike what you're accustomed to. Okay? But then I hope you can start to realize that because these things are so unlike what you're accustomed to, if really they are true, then the implications are so huge. I mean, if it's true that what you're seeing means nothing and that you're looking at nothing, then imagine what, the power of how your life will be when you start seeing reality. So anyways, let's just move on, and we'll suspend disbelief for now. So I'm just going to read this directly for now. The reason, nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. Yeah? What I think I see now is taking place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning so that vision may take its place. What they're saying here is that you are looking at nothing, even though you're not aware that you're looking at nothing. It may be, you might not realize that you're actually looking at nothing, but they're suggesting that you are looking at nothing, and therefore what you're seeing is meaningless. Yeah, and for you to really start seeing what really exists, or in other words, for you to have vision and start to see reality, then you have to at least start to entertain the idea that what you're looking at is meaningless. So this is the first step in letting go, so that you no longer defend what you believe about what you see. Yeah, you're at least entertaining the idea that maybe your eyes or your perception is lying to you. Your perception is incorrect. So you can at least allow to say, okay, look, if it's real, it can defend itself. If it's not real, I'm not gonna bother defend it. So by letting go, you start to make meaning, so that vision can take place of whatever has taken place of vision for now. Now, like we said, that's a little bit of a crazy set of sentences we just read. So let's see, is there any scientific proof of what we've just said? Now, let's try and find 2 or 3 different scientific proofs out there, but it's also important to know that even as we do science, we're doing it from within the so-called illusion. So, but let's see what we can find out. Now, let's look at how the eye works. Okay, this is a diagram of the eye, and of course you can see that on the right you have a person, and on the left you have an eye. But basically, the light of the image comes from, whatever it is you're looking at, comes into your eye through the lens, of course, and then it's inverted and it goes onto the retina, and it strikes those, the surface of the retina, and electric signals are therefore generated. These signals travel up the optical nerve to the brain. Now, what happens is, we know now for science that nobody exactly sees the same things. For example, whenever you're in a court of law and you ask 2 different witnesses what they saw, they might have been standing there at the same time, but they might each say they saw different things. So in psychology now and in biology, we do know that these electric signals. So already, remember, you're already now dealing with an electric signal going up your optical nerve. that electric signal will go to your brain and it will be filtered. First of all, it will lose about 80% of its content. Your brain will throw away stuff that it thinks it doesn't need. And then it's going to distort the image and it's going to change it based on your beliefs and patterns, you know? So that electrical signal, already it has been filtered, already it's no longer representing the light, it has already been converted from light into an electric signal, and then it's filtered, distorted, changed based on your beliefs and patterns, and then your brain reconstructs a mental image. So we know that for a fact in science. We also know that you usually see what you expect to see. You see what you believe, yeah? And then you believe what you see. That's the chicken and egg cycle. You see what you believe, and then you believe what you see. Okay? So from that point of view, we can at least start to agree, based on biology alone, that you're not actually experiencing reality directly. Okay? Now let's look at another one. Let's look at the ear. In the same way, the ear, as you can see on this image, there's a green squiggly line. That green squiggly line, the waves represent sound waves coming into the ear. Then the sound waves go and hit the eardrum. The eardrum vibrates and converts that sound to a series of electrical impulses, which then travel up the auditory nerve to the brain, as you can see in the image. And again, they go through a lot of filtering, distortion, changing, and so on, based on beliefs and patterns. And then they are reconstructed, okay, in the mind to a mental sound, just like vision. So once again, biologically, we know you're not actually hearing the sound. You're hearing a reconstruct, okay? Now, let's get deeper. Let's look at quantum physics. Quantum physics is the branch of physics that explains what matter is made of, okay? Or all of the physical life, okay? It looks at, what it does is, quantum physics looks at the subatomic nature of matter. And this is what we find out in quantum physics. By the way, this is proven physics, okay? So everything, everything physical is made of energy. In other words, our tissues or the materials that make up, let's say, the house or the chair or the computer are made up they're in turn made up of groups of molecules, large amounts of molecules fused together to form what you might call a tissue or a material. But if you magnify the molecule, you realize that every molecule is made up of atoms. We all know that. If you magnify the atoms, you're going to find electrons, neutrons, and other subatomic particles. But if you look deeper at these subatomic particles, you realize that they are energy. They're not made up of energy, they are energy. An electron is energy. You know, it's not made of energy, it is energy. So now you realize that the whole of life is compositions of energy arranged in particular ways. So, but your eyes are not looking at energy. They're not seeing the interaction. And by the way, another thing that quantum physics teaches us is that energy does not obey the laws of, you might call it gross physics. In other words, everything from the atomic level and above has different laws than the things that are at the energy level. In other words, energy does not obey time, does not obey space. It can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy particles seem to communicate regardless of distance and time. They act like little magician gods in a way. The energy is amazing to study. Now I'm giving you real quantum physics evidence of energy. It acts completely the opposite of what physical matter does, yet it is the building block of physical matter. When you're looking at a rock or a car, all you're doing is looking at a collection of energy arranged in a certain way. But if you could look at it at the energetic level with an electron microscope, you'd be surprised at what you see. It's miraculous. So we know our eyes are looking at a composition of energy, yet we cannot see the energy itself. Okay? We are not seeing reality. So even from that point of view, this kind of proves this first workbook lesson of A Course in Miracles. Yeah? Because what we are seeing from a quantum physics, when you ask quantum physics scientists, is that all we are looking at and experiencing is merely a gross interpretation of energy activity. We don't see reality itself as it truly is. Okay? And now, when you go back to the sentence, the practice session for today, nothing I see means anything, you start to see why this starts to make sense, even from a scientific point of view. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. Thank you for your time.